Hello everyone and welcome back for some more BattleTech. Yes, more BattleTech. So depending on when you started watching this particular Let's Play, it might not mean a whole lot to you, or it might just mean that you joined the next episode, or if you've been watching for a while, you know that we took a little bit of a break, or actually a pretty lengthy break between the last episode and this one. And there's a couple different reasons for that. I had a lot of things going on. And then I built a new recording machine, and I had the toughest time getting the saves from the previous recording machine to this one working. Anyway, long story short, finally got it figured out and got the saves to work. So we're back. Now, also, I told you folks that I was going to prepare for sort of the final story missions. So between the last time we were together and now, I've obviously done a ton of missions sort of, off book or what have you, or, not with you folks with me. So that's the purpose of this episode, is really to talk a little bit about some of the changes that have been made, because since the last time we were together, patches 1.3 and 1.4 actually just released. And just for point of reference, I'm recording this towards the beginning part of 2019. So there's a whole lot of new things, and I think some of them are just part of the patch, sort of like quality of life and just improvements to the base game. And then I also think some of it is elements that were brought in by the DLC that released not too long ago called Flashpoint. Now, I still haven't gone into any of the Flashpoint specific missions, but I think some of the things that have been added have been from that DLC that are affecting this quote-unquote standard campaign. And obviously I want to finish all the story missions and everything in this campaign before we jump into Flashpoint. But that's the thought process, is that we'll finish this campaign, then we'll promptly get into some of the good Flashpoint stuff. So let's talk about some of the changes. First off, as soon as I came back, almost right away, I was offered membership into the black market, and I paid the 500,000 C-Cred level. And there were some other offers, some of which I didn't have access to, and I'm not entirely clear on what that all changes. But in certain systems where they have a black market, then we now have access. And essentially what I have found, and I just got access to this, so I haven't been able to explore a whole lot of systems yet. But you'll have things like complete mechs, which you maybe didn't have before, where you'd only have components, and then plus weapons, right? And I didn't want to spoil myself, so I didn't really go and read up on it, but I'm assuming, depending on your total level of access or reputation, or however it ends up working out with the black market, my guess is that you might even be able to get access to like some lost tech at some point, like a Gauss rifle or something like that, which would be nice because we lost ours. As you know, I was like sad panda Mal when we lost it. But we have gained a ton of mechs, I think, since the last time we were together. So let's go take a look at the Mech Bay. Start with that. Let's see. So here's kind of our lineup. And, oh, this is such a nice quality of life mod if you didn't know about this. You just grab a mech and then, like, reorder it in the Mech Bay. Oh, so nice. Thank you, devs. Thank you for hearing us. We really appreciate it. So, of course, I've got them sorted by weight class. So we've got a Kintaro right here, which is always a mech that I've really enjoy, and I've been using it more and more as a scout on certain missions, or if I need a fast element, this is the mech is sort of my go-to. I just absolutely love it. Let's see, we've got a catapult for fire support. I really don't use this mech, as a matter of fact. I think I'm gonna go ahead and box it. No, don't do it, Mal. Yep, no, boxing it. I don't really need it. Then we've got a heavy scout in a grasshopper. Got a black knight set up as a laser boat. We've got a fire support PPC, awesome. And then we have two LRM boats, both in stalkers. So two 85-ton, basically all you can eat missile boats. And if you guys and gals have suggestions for build outs for some of these, please feel free to share them. The type of role that they would fill. Maybe kind of structure it this way. So like, as an example, this grasshopper, let's just take a look at this grasshopper in detail, and we can kind of go through what would be most helpful for me if you folks want to participate. That'd be great, is just say, what the role is you intend. So like in this case, I've got this classified as a heavy scout. So going to be a forward element, going to be tracking the other targets for us and sort of do like hit and run tactics. That's sort of my definition of a scout, right? Maybe like a skirmisher. And this is how I have it set up. So if you've got an idea about, let's just say this grasshopper, oh no, I think you should use it as a, you know, a really long range mech for whatever reason and take pot shots, and you've got a configuration for that, and it's like long range fire support, then start with that. Say, yep, this mech is for long range fire support, and here's how I would build it. And then just put that in the comments. That would be great. I'm always open to new mech ideas. And if you could, please, and most folks have been really great about this, please don't spoil stuff for me in terms of either the remaining story missions here or for Flashpoint. Now, when we get into Flashpoint, if I get confused about stuff, which we know I probably will, I'll ask you guys and gals for feedback, and at that point, then I would obviously be okay with a spoilerish response if I'm asking for it. Okay, so, oh, come on, go back to the other screen. There we go. All right, so we've got the Kintaro, we've got this Grasshopper, the Black Knight, the Awesome, we've got 2 Stalkers, we have a Battlemaster, our Highlander, a Banshee, and then I've got one one Atlas right now set up as a command mech. So yes, we do have an Atlas. Actually, we have 2 Atlases. This other one I just recently got, and I haven't done anything with it. And then we also have one King Crab, which just for kicks, and I know that this is not the ideal setup for this mech, but I thought it would be fun. 2 AC 20 pluses and an LRM 15. Now this is not optimal. It just can't be. And the reason I say that is because it's so slow. I mean, this one movement, it really should read 0 movement. It just feels like, you know, by the time this thing actually gets to the fight, it's like, really? And, you know, the Atlas is the same way. I don't know why it feels different with the Atlas. Maybe because of the model of the mech, the way it looks, because it's like, you know, kind of chugging along, walking. But the King Crab, it just feels like it's just barely moving at all. So by the time you get there, I've tried this thing out once. By the time you get there, the battle is probably already decided. But I have to say, shooting a target at point blank range with 2 AC 20 pluses is pretty satisfying. Yeah, because, I mean, so they're plus 20 damage, right? And they do, you know, 120. So you're, I mean, it's pretty stout, right? So you're like 200, like, bam, 240 to somebody's face potentially. You know, that's, you know, what's a head got? 45? I mean, that's not going to stick around. Hell, even a torso, you're going to rip right through into the internals in one shot. So that's kind of fun. But if you guys have like a real build that you think is good for the King Crab, and in particular, because this is not a mech I have messed with much, please do share. I would appreciate it. But I think it's a fun little mech. Well, there's nothing little about it. It's 100 tons, but I think it's a fun mech. I don't think I've got it ideally set up. Now here is the Assault Atlas mech that I've got set up as sort of a command and control mech. So I've set this one up kind of really, I think, as more of a traditional traditional Atlas, so that it can strike at multiple ranges, lots and lots of armor, and really is there to draw fire and provide support from multiple ranges. If it closes, that's great, because then you can use the AC 20, but really it's got firepower, you know, in terms of the LRM 20, and then it's got medium lasers, so it's got some different different elements to its arsenal to make it a little bit more flexible. I think this is more in line with, you know, a balanced mech. I put the comm system on there to add resolve to the team. But if you've got ideas, let me know. Let's see, cancel. Oh, I didn't really do anything. Right, I just switched some orders around. Okay, so let's go back. Yep, confirm. All right, now I think that's good for this. In terms of storage, we'll look at the big category here. So for assaults, we've got one part of a Cyclops. We actually have another Banshee in storage. We're getting close to having another Banshee archetype. We've got another Highlander. We're working on another. I mean, we have tons of stuff. We've got a Victor in here. We've got two We've got one here, and we've almost got another one. And then you can see here, we've got plenty of spare stuff. Zeus, 2 Zeuses if we wanted to use them. And then in terms of heavy, here's what we've got in stock. If there's a particular mech type that you think might be of value towards the end game, or potentially for Flashpoint without giving me too many details, let me know, and I can always reactivate some mechs and start getting them online. Here we go. Here's what we got for medium. And then our light mechs. Okay, now, in terms of the barracks, now, unfortunately, some not-so-good things did happen. I had hired this guy, Archangel. He did not live very long. He went on, you can see, 2 deployments, and then, yeah, he died. And then we actually died. And then, yeah, I know. But then I brought him back, because it was really just like... I don't know. First off, I want we on the team, but the second thing is that I was like, oh man, he got killed off camera. At least I believe he did, as I recall. And I thought, nah, let's just bring him back. So I did. I just sort of recreated him. Where you at, we? Right here.
Ready for order.
So here's the new version of we. Now, he's not quite as skilled up, obviously, as the previous version, but he's here. And then let's take a look at the rest of the team and their status. So you've got Behemoth. She's completely, done up. And you can see some of the changes here, too. You've got some ability changes. So Bulwark, like cover and guarded, damage resistant works a little bit differently now. So you've got 40% damage reduction rather than 20 if both states are provided. And then if you've got cover and guarded together, you get 60% damage reduction. There's also this ability now, Coolant Vent. This allows you to remove 50 extra heat this round, and then for the next 3 rounds, the unit will gain extra 8 heat. That'd be good for like a laser boat. Like a forward-functioning laser boat would be good. So some of these things have changed. These are things that we'll just come across as we go. Same thing here. Here's a new ability called Sure-Footed. I'll just leave that on the screen there for a second. You guys can read it. This is one of our new guys, Blockade. And we've got Decker. Decker's already finished. Empress is almost fully trained. I'm gonna get one more little bit here for tactics, and she'll be 10s across the board.
I'm here.
We've got Flatline. I don't know if he's that... he's newer to me, and I don't know if you guys have seen him or not before. But this is another MechWarrior that I brought on board. Let's see. Oh, he's got some experience to spend. Let's put that into piloting.
Training confirmed, Commander.
There we go. And then we've got Glitch. Obviously, she's fully trained. My guy's fully trained.
Commander.
Medusa's fully.
Receiving you.
Sandbag is not, but is getting closer.
Training complete.
Okay, and then obviously I already went over we. So there's the Mechwarriors. I think we're doing okay in that regard. At least I hope we are. I get this, I get the feeling that based on the last, I don't know if it's the actual last Ray mission or there's maybe a couple left, but, it was like, oh, you need to make sure you can field more than one lance and all that. I don't know how many that means, but we have at least enough for 2 full lances deployment and then a couple of spare Mechwarriors. So hopefully that's enough. In terms of the ship itself, we've got everything, at least everything to date that's available for the ship to be upgraded. We have it. Everything's done. So, and that's not bad considering we've got almost 10 million on hand and we've got all the mechs I think we could need for now. I think we're in pretty good shape. So let's go look at, here's something that definitely has changed, is they've added more importance and more detail to the reputation system. And I didn't really delve into this that much because I kind of wanted to explore it with you guys and kind of talk back and forth. But as you can see here, you've got a reputation scale that's symbolized here by red X at the bad end and green star at the other end. So like you're honored or what have you. And when you get into this range towards the end, you have this option to ally. Make an alliance with this faction and reap the benefits. Now I haven't done that yet, as you can see. And we're close, so we can do it with Federated Suns right now if we want. We've got that status, I guess, with the Arano Restoration already. The Compelling Confederation's not too far off. I'm just concerned about committing to that because I don't know what the negative, because it's probably not all good, right? So what's the negative impact if you ally with them? Do you immediately go super negative with somebody that they are not on good terms with, right? Because, like, for instance, like, here's their enemies. I would assume so. Like, you know, we're, like, in difference with Draconis Combine right now, right? But if we ally with them, are we immediately going to go negative there? Not sure. Matter of fact, if somebody knows that, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I am curious about that. And then, let's see what else. I think that's about it in terms of, at least initially, things that are different after the most recent patches, plus Flashpoint, versus the last time we were together. And we'll just discover other things together. I believe the jungle biome is new. I've played on that maybe once. That's kind of interesting. It looks cool. The other thing that's going to be hopefully noticeable is that since we are on the new recording rig now, I've jacked up all of the visual settings, and the game already looked good, and now I think it looks even better. I'm also rendering at a higher bit rate. I'm trying to do 4K for all videos now, by the way. Unfortunately, YouTube's not cooperating. A lot of things are getting stuck at 360 on their side, so I might have to downgrade back to like 1440p at 60 frames per second, simply because YouTube's having some major issues rendering on their side. And a lot of YouTubers I know have been complaining about it as well. Like, you'll set something up there. I've got one video up there right now that's been up there like 4 days, and it still hasn't rendered on YouTube's side. So I'm going to have to re-render it at a lower bit rate and send it back up. So I don't know. Hopefully they resolve that at some stage. But I'm excited to be back to BattleTech. And I think what we'll do here is I'll go ahead and end this operational update. I look forward to your comments and feedback about things. And then we'll jump into maybe a warm-up mission in the next one, just to kind of shake off the rust, so to speak. And then we'll jump back into, I think, some story missions. So I hope that you're glad that BattleTech is back, and that you're all still with me and willing to, melt some metal faces. I'll see you next time. Bye.